Now that FragPunk has been out for just a few days now, there's a ton of new information, some developer updates. There's also been some big controversies around the game. I'll go over each and every single one of those. We'll cover the 1.0 patch notes, some brand new redemption codes, some additional events and quests, as well as what's going on with the subreddit, and a whole bunch more. What's up, world? It's Toby back in with another video. Today we're checking out all things FragPunk. Okay, so first up, let's just go over some of the official news. Then we'll cover those controversies. Well, the first one is here. Yes, there is actually a Discord quest. So FragPunk did officially launch that, where you can get a pathogen avatar decoration. Now, you will need to play the game for 15 minutes with the Discord client open, and it will need to successfully detect the game. So the way that you can find this in Discord is actually under the discovery page. They have changed the location for that just recently. And if you didn't know, that's all the way at the bottom last tab of your Discord. So underneath all your servers, there will be the discovery tab. Upon clicking on that, you will see the quest section, and then you could see all the quests that you've either claimed or all the quests that are available. And at the top, you do see FragPunk. You go ahead and accept that and just play FragPunk, and then you'll get that avatar frame. Now, if your Discord's not detecting the game, you can actually add it yourself or even find it. Make sure you launch the game first, and then you can add it under the registered game section. Just click the add it button, and then it should be able to detect the game. We have two more official updates here. The first one being another instant win. So yes, they still have this available. This will end March 10th at 8 a.m. Pacific time. So depending on when you watch this video, you might still have time to enter this. I've had a lot of questions asked, when does this actually officially end? Yeah, they've now disclosed that time here. Make sure you are following the Play FragPunk. And remember, you can also do the Japan one if you want to as well. I'll include a link to both social accounts. Those both do have different hashtags to use. I did cover this in my last video, but if you didn't see it, there is a card war that is now live. And essentially, people that do create card concepts here can have a chance to win some really cool items. There's also a cash reward prize, as well as a custom designed card that is for the top 5 winners. And there's even a participation reward where everyone will get an exclusive custom sticker pack. That's going to be a long time, so March 7th all the way till June 7th, you can partake in that. And I will include a link to the tweet down below so that you can submit all that stuff and check out the further event details. This last one here is technically the 1.0 patch notes. These did launch with the game, although there isn't really anything too crazy in here, aside from them mentioning several new maps for free-for-all as well as team deathmatch, and some of the other arcade modes. They've also now permanently added the Outbreak mode, which was newly added, and 2 exclusive maps to play on, Defiled and Ghost Town. Of course, they do mention Chum here, as well as under the weapons section, you do have the Burner, which can launch incendiary bombs to prevent enemy advances. I've actually not seen this utilized a lot, and I do think it will get more utilization as people figure that out. Basically, your secondary counts as a launcher, or you can get one. Instead of it being just a normal pistol, you can use that as either a grenade launcher, a smoke grenade, there's also a regular grenade, and then now the Burner. Again, I barely see this utilized, but I do think more people will once they recognize that that is the option there. But yeah, not too much in those patch notes there, but if you do want to check them out, I will link to them down below. Moving on, though, we do have some controversies that have been around the game. Some of the major things with the reviews, as well as what's going on with the subreddit. There's a ton of stuff there that we'll cover right now. Which, first up, we will cover the review situation, the Steam charts. So you've probably seen a ton of videos talk about this where we were in basically the mixed section, or at least that FragPunk was being mixed reviewed. Most people were kind of pointing to the monetization scheme, some of the currency stuff, as well as some people even being upset with the console delay. However, as of right now, the player count did reach over 100,000 players, at least concurrently. And we've also reached the mostly positive section. It is barely in mostly positive though at 70%. That is essentially when it reaches mostly positive. For a while it was between 67% to 69%. It has now just hit that 70% mark. Again, placing it into the mostly positive category. That was kind of a lot of the movement from the subreddit. A lot of people wanted to push to review the game. Of course, the negative reviews are always going to come in first. That's usually what happens with any game. People always get upset at the start and people will put those reviews out to start. And they're always the loudest voices there. But now it seems like that's sentiment, and a lot of players are now turning that to a positive review. So good to see that overall. Moving on though, another controversy I haven't really seen talked about as of right now. It seems like the subreddit is being unmoderated, or that the mods aren't currently active for the entire subreddit. I've never really seen this before with a big popular game like this. The subreddit overall is quite small though, especially for the game size, although that's probably realistically due to a lot of the advertisement mostly being in other regions other than NA and Europe, as there really hasn't been a ton of marketing here. Yeah, from these posts, it does seem quite odd. A lot of these moderators aren't very active. There's this one here that points out all of the moderators, what the problem is, the moderator list, pointing out that none are active. Some are even deleted accounts. Most haven't made a post or a comment in over 100 days. Some people have 2-year-old accounts or even dummy accounts. It is quite insane that a lot of these moderators haven't been essentially modding the sub. There's been several posts here pointing out that moderators haven't been active, some from days ago and also even today and even last month. Yeah, quite insane there that the sub isn't being actively moderated. Although people do point out that sometimes the auto mod can do just fine. I do hope eventually they do become more active. As we've seen with the finals, and that subreddit has been very active with the developers. They've done several Q&As, and that has helped quite a ton. So I hope we do get more of that in the future. Although I do cover another NetEase game, which is Once Human. That seems like they aren't very interconnected with the developers as well. I do believe that could be because of language barrier, as well as the devs just not being kind of in comms with that. And typically, even when I do Q&As on that game, there's usually only one dev who actually speaks English. That could be translated back and forth there. That could be the issue, definitely a language barrier issue, maybe some other factors there. Have to wait and see on that though. There's also some community concerns here, some feedback from the game, some good and bad. This one here points out that voice chat and text chat might not be working. I've noticed that in some games people talk, but a lot of games people are very quiet. I am wondering if that is because voice chat and text chat actually do not work sometimes. I've noticed in a few other games like Marvel Rivals, people actually do use voice chat quite often, especially in ranked. I haven't seen that a ton with this game, hoping to see more of that, or at least this issue fixed overall. Another good one here is this person pointed out that 2 players they reported have been confirmed cheaters and are now banned. I have actually myself encountered several cheaters in ranked. It did seem like it was quite the major issue. I've also seen someone who looked like their cheat didn't even work properly, where their aimbot was locking onto somebody but it couldn't actually hit them. Maybe there is some tech there behind the scenes that they're working on, hopefully to combat that. Overall though, it does look like they are actually banning cheaters. Another good mention here is that there is a full settings copy-paste feature. As this Redditor does point out, that is a really cool feature. You can even copy-paste your basic settings, your video settings, keyboard, audio, controller, privacy, and even sensitivity. So there's a ton of settings there that you can export and even give to your friends. Really cool feature there, and yeah, I have never seen anything like this. Also, onto some other good news here, there is more redemption codes. Now, I did cover these in my last video, but there was an additional one added here, which is this one at the bottom here, the BTRA. However, if you don't have any of these codes, there are 8 ones here. A lot of these will give you currencies, some will even give you pop cans, I believe. A ton of gold with this. I think I got like 13,000 gold. There was a lot here that can be redeemed with these, so these are really, really good and will help you unlock characters. We have one last minute mentionable here. If you have been keeping up with the Taiwanese tournament, there is one that is concluding and still going on. So they are doing another tournament play here tomorrow and the next day. So pretty cool there if you want to check that out and you are keeping up with that. Again, hopefully they do some other tournaments in other regions. I am hoping we also get some advertisement here, as I really do think the game needs that overall, especially in these NA and Europe regions. Overall, I should have covered for today's video. If you like, subscribe, and until the next one. Deuces!